Hey guys, welcome back to Max Class Dawn of War Unification. Today I have a 1 vs 1 for you on Blood River. On the southern side playing Death Guard we have Focus. On the northern side playing his signature Raven Guard it is Dantist, ELM Dantist, so he's in the same clan as Isura it looks like. And on the other hand Focus plays also his signature faction which is Death Guard. This replay was sent to me by Dantist himself. He said this was the best game he ever played. His quote, not mine, so I'm interested to see how it turns out. So this is the new patch version, whatever, of Raven Guard. So their sprint isn't as super strong at the beginning, but gets good again later on. You have some Nurgle cultists fully reinforced. I didn't catch what company he did, but this is a cultist only opener with 1 generator. So it's cultist spam into some economy, I guess. Like harassment and economy, he will be able to decap it. And Dantist is putting a turret. I think this is a good play. It now depends if he can get it up. He only has 1. Okay, there's the second builder. The second builder needs to actually get over there and help to build the turret. His scouts can do a bit of damage, but not a lot against this whole bunch of very tanky cultists. So they're better off capturing, and as soon as the turret is up, this should make short work, as this is a assault cannon turret, so this should be a lot of damage against these cultists here. Actually missing a whole bunch of shots in the beginning. The Tech Marine getting focus, which is what you want, but there comes now the brother captain and the brother shadow captain actually now. Okay, the shadow captain now. In conjunction with the turret will make short work. But look at his economy, it is 20 and 15. Like he hasn't even captured a single point by now, or it got decapped immediately. On the other side, not a whole lot of economy either, but it will go up quite a bit, especially that he can upgrade his points more or less immediately. At least I would hope so. Or he saves up the power to get a gift of repository, but for that he would need a production building first as well, so might as well use the power you have right now to upgrade your points. But okay, we have still the 2 scouts. The Tech Marines need now to rebuild, yes. And there's even a feculent Knoll mod. This I totally missed out on completely. So this somehow managed to get over here, and this will do some damage. No, is this out of range? This is out of range, okay. At least be annoying, I guess. And it would allow to build a turret later if you keep it there. Is he upgrading his points? He's upgrading the outer point, very nice. And this point next to the generator. Very good decision making over there. The 2 most important points is like outer point, which is kinda hard to defend. And of course you want to defend your generator. So he will have, okay, upgrades even more points. As I said, he has quite a lot of spare power, might as well upgrade. And this barely doing any damage. I guess they would need some actual tactical marines shooting at it, or the shadow captain, but the shadow captain is probably busy harassing, trying to kill the cultist squad, or they are getting reinforced now. They heal also, but increased next to the buildings. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 cultists, I guess. Yeah, 8 out of 10. 4 cultists is about as much as you want to. And now he needs to think about, climbing the tech tree, I guess. Okay, getting another point over here is nice, especially with 2 plague cultists. I think this will go up. If you only have 1, this could have been killed. And also these cultists in number will do some damage over here over time. You need to make sure that they stand a bit aside, because this can happen. Now he can kite forever, upgrading his point as well. So his economy is already at 110. Wow. 5 upgraded points. 4 upgraded points. And yeah, quite a lot of stuff over here. It's also Dantist's point now. And yeah, in general being quite annoying. 104 and 10 in tier 1 is quite a bunch. More or less double the acquisition. Not sure about adding another generator over here. You will need a barracks or whatever that's called for Death Guard, and then the Pursuit of Perfection. So I'm not really completely sold on this extra power and investment to the power resource over here. In comes a fly over here, built from the Knollmore, can scout, and a hell of a lot of cults. Another, this time, offensive turret. This turret is still there, of course, but he has still only the Shadow Captain as well as these 2 scouts, I guess. 3 scouts, 2 scouts. I'm not sure what his plan is. Is he getting tier 2? He can use tier 2 soonish. Knollmore actually reproduced next to the generator, but we now have an upgraded listening post. There's now finally the Temple of Disease, so a bit late on that one. Yeah, slowly but surely this will now die. This will die, let's say, after a while by itself. It has a counter on it when it's dying, dying basically. And this now is getting killed actually by the turret over here. Another generator for him. Okay, he's getting tier 2, so tier 2 actually faster for Dantist after all, because of the I think because of this generator. He wanted to have these 2 buildings first and then add a generator once you are on the way to tier 2. For now, still big map control for focus. We can even see why he built these flies over here. They give you good vision over here, and yeah, the point in the middle, so he has more or less the best vision you can dream of. Armory on the way to tier 2, so this could be Vanguard veterans or just upgraded Sternguard veterans, for example. More Dayton, all the good stuff. The detection is already over here in these flies. They are infiltrated themselves. Yeah, infiltrated, so they cannot be seen right now. You can quickly check. He doesn't see them. Yeah. Tier 2, 40% done. Tier 2, almost done over here. Getting now bionics and plasma pistols. Plasma pistols for his Shadow Captain, wherever he is. Oh. What did he... Is he... Can he deep strike from the Ravenspire? Or are these Dark Fury Assault Squads? I haven't seen them. Maybe he can deep strike from the HQ. Something I am not aware that it is possible. We will see. Let's quickly jump over to his side actually to see when there's something dropped out of this. I want to see it. So he has a lot of upgrades, not a lot of resources, however. More scouts. Okay, getting now the Hellfire Heavy Bolters. They have a bit of an AoE to their attacks and will make short work of these cultists over here. Upgrading the economy and upgrading this point now to a Shadow Spire. To infiltrate nearby units. Okay, we will need to stick with Dantist's point of view because of that. Okay, these cultists are not long for this world. And now adding the Keyvor Forge drop pod add-on. On the other side we also have the Bane Pit. Do we see some... No. Oh, but the Tribulation mounts. Okay, interesting. There's now the turret infiltrating like 3 buildings. Not the listing post, however. Keyvor Forge is done. A little... okay, he did use the infiltration upgrade. And in comes the Shadow Captain. Yeah, he can deep strike from the Shadow Spire. So that is something I didn't know. More upgrades, I guess. Yeah, Power Sword, Land Speeder. And the Land Speeder can transport his scouts, actually. I learned that. Actually doing quite good damage against the turret as well, as it is building low. So economy-wise you have now 105 and 60 for Mr. Dantist and 98 and 50. So more or less even, a bit of an edge now for Dantist. Desecrator here with his Havoc launcher and autocannon. And also the belly cannon, so he has a lot of options to fire, I guess. 2 of them now, Desecrators. More or less filling your whole vehicle pop. Getting Blight Grenades. He has now the Foul Blight Spawn from the Tribulation Mount, economy upgrades. Yeah, both players building up quite a force. Now multi-melter land speeder will do some damage, but the Desecrator has a lot of HP. Dantist managed to kill this point over here and this point over here, but this is getting rebuilt. In the middle now some Primaris Scout Marines standing here, and this land speeder already catching a bunch of rockets. And we have again melters on these cultists. I think this is Company 5 then. Skull Probe and Skull Probe infiltration to maybe see these fly? Not sure. Skull Probe at least can stun these vehicles. It looks like, yeah, it did stun it with one Skull Probe. The Skull Probe gets killed in the meantime. In comes now the Brother Captain. He can stun this vehicle, and if it is stunned, the land speeder can do quite a lot of damage, but the stun chance isn't the highest, as it is reduced value compared to the standard Force Commander, as it is he has the added mobility, and more Skull Probes being added to deal with these Desecrators. They can also be jumped, I just saw. Now he has a problem. Oh, here. Uses this very, very dangerous grenade. You can see the damage. It will kill this land speeder if it stays here. Foul Blightsman has a very mean grenade. Almost killing these. But he lacks the vision. He needs to get a Malignant Blade Caster, I guess. Or some more flies. But a Malignant Blade Caster would probably be the more stable option to detect in tier 2. But he's for now just assaulting from range. This one is not finished yet, I guess. No power production over here, just infiltrated scouts. This time one with a rocket launcher as well. This is the rocket launcher from the scouts is your anti-vehicle, not the rocket launcher from the tactical marines. And there are the Vanguard veterans. They already have some upgrades. You can get some melter bombs on them as well. There's already a bot fly in the air, being annoying as much as it can. They just stand here for now, okay. So, wow, 3 Desecrators, 2 bot flies, and some cultists, I guess, but more or less a vehicle only build. These Vanguard veterans over here do not like to be hit by a Desecrator, even if it has such low life. One Desecrator will go down, however, now. Getting some repairs from these plague cultists, but the rocket misses. It survives for now. Next rocket comes and going for a Poxwalker slave. So it's still alive over here. A very eco-friendly bot flies flying about. What do we get here? Sorry, more land speeder storms. The land speeder storms have these grenade launchers at the bottom, making very short work against infantry. That's why you see probably a lot of vehicle action over here. Needed to drink a bit for my voice, as I'm still not fully recovered. Nurgle is very persistent these days. But I wanted to cast these games before there's another relic patch or something making it unable to be cast. And yeah, these guys are absolutely annoying, but they're getting shot by these scouts, I guess. And now comes the land speeders, and the land speeders should be able to kill at least one of those. Yeah, one going down. Defensive factor in Knollmore, Plague Havocs, and I would say, sorry, get a Malignant Blade Caster. So you can actually assault this, because this mean turret for now disallows you any further progress. Some scouts over here even. So he did research the infiltration stuff. There's the Biologus Purifier. Hyper Blight Grenade against infantry. You can see it in action over here. Doing a hell of a lot of damage. The Knollmore reproduced over here next to this land speeder. But the land speeder also does some good damage against these Plague Havoc. So it's a bit going in both ways. These scouts, if they are not getting infiltrated, they will probably die over here. We have even a Preacher, do we? He also detects. Okay, so this is the way he wanted to go about detection. Get a Preacher. Is he tier 3 by chance? He is. How is looking for Dantist over here? Not yet, I guess. Can't see it in the building, but I saw a lot of these stuff on the HQ, so I was thinking he's tier 3, and he is. You could see it in the Possessed. Where are they? Are they out? What did he cancel? He has now a Rhino. A Rhino with some Plague Havocs is mean. But there are 4. I repeat, 4 land speeders. But they have not all of them have the multi-melter. Okay. Retreating from now. Scout Sergeant is here. This point is upgraded 1, 05 and 60. Against 80 and 79. So we have an edge for Dantist in terms of economy, but not in terms of he floats actually a hell of a lot of resources. Not sure what this is all about. You need to click the tier 3 button if he hasn't already, because this is a hell of a lot of resources. And there it is. So he's now a full tech timing behind still, but focus is for now not pushing the issue, actually trying to stabilize his economy here is, but this is dangerous against his very mobile. And we also have the 2-minute warning for Dantist. He has like both the outer sides, so yeah, he needs to, yeah, these cultists will make care about this. And now comes in these did they wanted to come over and kill these cultists? Probably. In comes now again a skull probe and some land speeders, so one of these desecrators will not move and die, and the other one getting a lot of damage there. There's a Poxwalker slave trying to rebuild, but there is, I guess, another skull probe. And finally we have a Plague Burst Crawler. I think this was needed a lot earlier to support these vehicles at the front. There's even some more tech marines doing their repair work, and Bloated Rhino with only 1 squad of Plague Havocs. One is actually doing capping work. Not sure about that. Better get some cultists for that work, not? Where are these cultists? They're all dead for now, I guess. You can use, if you research it, these little smoke launchers of them, but the smoke does also damage against the enemy. And yeah, we need to stick with Dantist over here to see this whole bunch of units over here. So very hard to engage. I think you could kill the Deliverance Guild. What is getting? Librarian Codicor and Codicor. I do not know what his abilities are. I know that they are not the standard abilities from your Librarian. There's even a Paloctius Purifier at the front, and there comes in the big jump of these land speeders. And I think, yeah, this Desecrator has been stunned as well for a short amount. The Rhino will drop some units out, I guess, and the Plague Burst Crawler does the best he can do. He even has the entropy cannons at the side to fend off some incoming land speeders. But this is big grenade, I guess, being chucked in the middle as well from this guy. This guy with the bell on the top, and a hell of a lot of artillery now with this Plague Burst Crawler. But the Plague Burst Crawler needs to disengage. But there's a second one, that's why. And in comes now these land speeders. Still 5 land speeders still, all being relatively healthy, I guess. In comes the Vanguard veterans being tanky as the usual. Their damage resistance aura has been nerfed, I think, a bit. I don't remember on the patch notes, but I remember talking about it in the chat. Another artillery strike, and these Primaris Scouts will, yeah, eat it. But the front line of these Vanguard veterans, are there now 2 squads, or is this still 1 squad? It looks like 1 squad for now. And Librarian Codicor doing also some lifting, I guess. And yeah, still these land speeders being annoying, killing all these Plague Burst Crawlers, even though they have these entropy cannons. One is moved all the way back here, but the economy damage is quite substantial. Tier 3 was actually cancelled and now restarted. We cancelled it to get like more units, I guess, and get a push going. But yeah, you cannot stay here forever. You need to be aggressive or leave, because you cannot win the war of attrition against the Death Guard, so that's for sure. Landspeeder Storm. More upgrades over here. Tier 3, as I said. More Dathan on the way. Black Cross Crawler leaving the base. We have a cesspit. So there's a possibility of tier 4. Or some Terminators, for example. Champions. There it is. Blightlord Terminators already in the mix. And so this is gonna be interesting. So these Vanguard Veterans got put back into the point over here. More and more Skullbrook. So the vehicle-based approach ends here, I guess. But the ranged artillery can still do some work. Killing now the Deliverance Guild. Deliverance Guild did upgrade, and in comes 2 squads of Vanguard Veterans now. They're getting slowed a hell of a lot. And there's some ability used from the Librarian over here, like blinding or what is this? Tier 3 now finishes for Dantist over here, but there's a lot of missiles now. So these land speeders, yeah, all bunched up in one position, eating a lot of stuff. There's even now a very remote infiltrating device over there. I do not think you want to stay here as Vanguard Veterans in this light stuff. But yeah, they killed a whole lot of stuff. The Foul Blights one did a lot of damage. Almost killed the Deliverance Guild. I think they will manage to still. So let's see how this will end. Dealing a lot of damage. And yeah, still holding for now. Artillery advance going on. But yeah, not in range apart from this Desecrator now. Or is there... They killed the other artillery position over here. More scouts, and now a Storm Talon, okay. Rare sight. Heating a lot of rockets. They would be probably best used on the other side, harassing. Blightlord Terminators getting rebuilt. So let's see how this goes. Like Havoc still firing over here. Like, yeah, Havoc's against this listening post. But there's more Dayton. Also peeling off models. Killing their morale. Storm Talon again trying to peek a bit. But as I said, would be nice to have it on the other side, I guess. And down goes the Tech Marine. We have some guys over here. Now only are the melter bombs being researched. I thought they were already there. Desecrator actually going into melee. Not the best choice over here. Because, yeah, you see why. There are now even the Death Shroud Terminators as well. Sorry if you notice a few hiccups. I had to pause for a second, but back we are. You will probably not notice a big of a difference. Load the Rhino now again here. And Plague Havocs, as I said, the Death Shroud Terminators. I'm interested to see how they will deal now. They will come in. They're slowly marching in, but yeah, eating a lot of damage as well on the way in. They're like making space for all the different range squads they have here. Range squads of the Blightlord Terminators, the 2 squads of Plague Havoc still there. Plague Surgeon for some increased health regeneration, but the Storm Talon on the top. Not sure what weapon it does get. You cannot see on the UI, but I see a hell of a lot of... not sure if it starts with these assault cannons. We can actually see in a moment if another one pops out. The war of attrition continues. Not a lot of requisition still for Dantist. A hell of a lot of power actually, so that's why probably he did got the Storm Talents over here. So just quickly checking the economy. Economy wise, for in terms of requisition, favors Focus over here. So he can allow for this war of attrition a bit longer, killing 2 Vanguard Veterans on their way in. That's a rare sight. And more cultists over here. Desecrator going down with smelter bombs. These Vanguard Veterans completely ignoring the front line, but there's still a random Feculent Knollmaw now spawning next to them, so that's something they do not like. One squad of Vanguard Veterans just tanking over here, whereas these Storm Talons firing. What is getting over here? Upgrading this point that it got rebuilt, and on the other side just one singular Poxwalker slave. So we see a lot of that Death Guard units, not a lot of Raven Guard units, so they are holding for now. Still holding. Rhino getting killed. And still the Vanguard veterans in melee, I guess, not sure. Still one squad over here, nope, two, I guess, yeah. They can use their melter bombs if they're off cooldown, but the cooldown is relatively high. And there's no escape plan now that the Rhino has been killed. There is Vacuum Ignore more and stuff, but still. Not sure why Focus is not getting like more tier 3 stuff, like the what I called again? Possessed, or like a Rhino. Like a stick old standard Rhino. Yes, it is not artillery, but it will, not a Rhino, a Predator. It will help you fend off against these vehicles over here, I guess. And they are a lot more durable, I guess. Has similar durability with this Desecrator, but they have like better anti-vehicle options. Not as much artillery, and as the usual, no big, how should I say, nothing big happen on the other side. Not sure about this Rhino move. It will probably eat a melter bomb now and die, or even just some rockets. And these Plague Havocs are, yeah, they are doomed over here. Not sure how they want to get out of here. Yes, there are some Desecrators, but still. The guy with the bell in the middle, a lot of explosions, and a hell of a lot of power flowed from all sides. They did got their tier 3 power upgrades, I'm pretty much certain at this point. And out goes the Storm Talent for now. Holy shit, and these more Dayton are still here. I think just one squad of scouts with missile launchers, for example, would have been a big play. But this is like you are focused in the moment. I've seen this in all different skill levels, that you are like hyper focused to not lose the game over here. And that's probably good. Getting another Storm Talent now. Will it get out? I want to see if it starts with this, or did they, what did they go now? They go now the missile launcher loadout. They start so with these assault cannons, I guess, and now featuring missiles as well, but poof, down they go. The what did kill them? Probably Plague Havocs. Another squad now of Storm Talon with the missile launcher loadout. So yeah, even though it looked like the Raven Guard will hold, it is still a lot of Death Guard units, like getting more and more units. The Tallyman now, like producing, but not a lot of infantry left for the Death Guard, and no vehicles left for the Raven Guard. So it's all infantry against all vehicles. But yeah, he needs some scouts actually. The scouts with missile launchers now being added again. There are some infiltrated over here and more data. But yeah, other than that, the melter bombs are probably the best option. The Stranger now coming. Is it tier 4? Is this tier 4? Okay. He rebuilt actually the Deliverance Guild over here to be able to get this unit out. I'm not sure exactly what this unit does. I haven't seen it like ever in a cast. And my Raven Guard guide video is quite a while ago. But yeah, you can still see here on the battlefield. This was quite the slugfest over here. Quite a lot of infrastructure being killed as well. This is a Volkite. He has a Volkite pistol actually, and this will be very good against basically everything over here. Desecrator shooting in as well. And then now the Vanguard veterans trying to kill this Desecrator. And they will not, but they will advance. They will kill this listening post over here and will then have again the economy advantage. What is he getting now? Okay, more commander upgrades because he has like the Shadow Captain, the Labyrinth Coast, even the Reclusiarch in the midst over here. So these are some very stacked up veterans over here. He comes now against the Foul Blightspawn. Let's see if he throws a grenade. At least he uses his ability. His AoE killing stuff, but they are tanky enough. In comes now a Skull Probe as well. Stunning again, yeah, stunning against his Desecrator. A lot of damage against the Blooded Rhino. There's now finally the Raven Purge. This could have been used earlier and maybe get a Rhino or two into the enemy lines. For example, there have been the other guys, but still the what I call these Havocs. But I think the sheer HP of a Rhino would have been really good. A Dreadnought. But now they're getting the Deliverers. The Deliverers, I guess. Yeah, these are these big guys in the chunky suits. And meant for ranged, question mark. Still the Stranger here doing strange stuff, I guess, with a Volkite pistol. And it more or less all falls down now for the Death Guard. They're still producing stuff. Some Plague Havocs over here getting... No, just Plague Marines. Chosen Plague Marines, okay, sorry. They can do some lifting, I guess, but not if you're like completely outnumbered. And getting now the Keyboard Forge drop pod again. It got killed. So that's why you cannot get any... sorry, any... Dreadnoughts for now at least. Deliverers are here. Ah, these are your standard, your ranged Terminators. You have melee Centurions, I guess. So yeah, but I think there's no way Focus can make an advance over here. He is trying to build some Knollmods, but he even lost this strategic point over here. So his economy should be very low. Yeah. Even now a orbital bombardment in the backline over here trying to kill the economy. The most part misses actually, getting probably 1 point over here. But would have been really good against these buildings. Killing one listening post. Almost killing 2 generators over here. Almost. What is he building now? Gaze into the abyss. Lost the brand to send force. Okay, so basically a debuff. And there it is. Finally, a Dreadnought. With all this power to spare, he can build a whole bunch of Dreadnoughts and deep strike them anywhere, I guess. Like in the midst of these enemy lines, on the enemy base, to do some base damage, as all good Space Marine players like to do. I still remember that from the Manila players back in the day. Like a Dreadnought in the backside is so good. Here you see again a Dreadnought now can be damage dealt against this Desecrator, but the Desecrator doesn't deal damage fast enough, I guess. And here comes another Dreadnought, I guess, now here on the front line, and then he can advance with all he has over here. But the Dreadnought can go 1-to-1 as it is a melee Dreadnought here, yeah, so he can do quite a lot of damage against these Desecrators. Actually, they both deal quite a lot of damage against each other, but a Melter Bomb or two would change this equation, obviously, or in this sense a Skull Probe. Yeah, Skull Probe making this now winnable for the Dreadnought. Before he was losing. On the other side, the Dreadnought allows now these Deliverers and some Scouts to stay over here. Not sure why he's not going in. Yes, there's some Plague Havocs. Okay, he wants to kill the Plague Havocs first. But yeah, he's still very methodical over here. He doesn't know how big his advantage is, I guess. Getting now a Thunderhawk gunship, so he did go for tier 4. On the other side, not real tier 4 shenanigans, at least in terms of units for Mr. Focus, but I think when he sees the Thunderhawk gunship, at least when it goes out, he will probably tap out, because yeah, he has no map control. You see it like this arc is now over here. Even getting this point is now Dantist, and this is always a bad sign. Getting a Dreadnought now. One more Dreadnought, that is. And I think Dantist just wants to get the unit out because he wants to see it at least once in play. Rally getting captured and stuff. No, not missing a beat here. The Stranger doing his Volkite shenanigans next to the Deliverers. Deliverers taking hell of a lot of damage, but this is like the Word of the Emperor, where they cannot die. The thing is the Death Guard dealing a lot of damage over time, so will they die all now? And they barely survived, and now completely a lot of regeneration now on them as well. So this is interesting. So But yeah, economy wise, yeah, there's like no way Focus will hold on to this, and yeah, that is now infiltrated now because of these cannon of these turrets over here. But yeah, once this is shown to Focus, I guess he will leave this game. Not seeing what shoots at him now, but he will soon enough. Yeah, he sees it now. Firing from the top. Big cannon over here. If he gets a little closer, he can also fire with these Gatling cannons at the side and everything. In comes... okay, now it's going for the back of the base are these Vanguard veterans. And they're trying to hit, but you will hit and deal a lot of damage, but it will not be enough, I guess. Another Dreadnought now. Is it deep striking in the base, so Focus calls it GG. And GG it was. Quite a long game as well. 35 minutes, Jesus Christ. Not a lot of downtime also. A lot of action in the mid game, or the late mid game over here. Good start by Focus, but a little late on the tier 2 transition, which then allowed DANTIST to recover. And then I guess he had attack advantage, but didn't make full use of it yet. He had the Plague Burst Crawler and the Terminators at some point, but I guess I'm possessed to challenge the Vanguard veterans or Predators of sorts would have been really nice. At some point in the game, players completely neglected the side over here. So one squad of cultists with melter guns, or on the other side one squad of scouts with missile launchers could have been very helpful over here. In the end, DANTIST takes this. A lot of float in the mid game because everybody was reinforcing so much, but yeah, making the use of his money in the end after all. Okay, without further talking here from my side, GG's to the player, and as usual guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye!